What event from the scriptures would you like to witness and why?
And why? Well, I'm intrigued by people who are master teachers. And in Matthew chapter 21, verses 12 through 16, it talks about when the Savior was just 12 years old, but was teaching the Sadducees and Pharisees. And my understanding was that he wasn't asking them questions, they were asking him questions.
Mm-hmm.
And as it would just be fun, I think, to sit at his feet. Even though he was 12, I don't know completely if he understood at that point, if he knew who he was, 100% knew who he was. But he was a master teacher and he understood the scriptures. And it would just be fun to sit at his feet and watch him teach. I thought I would tell you about two skiing experiences that I had. When I was a teenager, my buddy and I decided to learn how to ski. We're both fairly decent athletes, but had no skiing experience or training or coaching whatsoever. We got onto the lift with a little bit of trouble, went up to the top of the mountain, which is the Brighton Ski Resort, and in the mountains there in east of Salt Lake City, and then we'd just shoot down the mountain, go straight. I was a good enough athlete that I could keep my balance pretty well in going down. The problem I had was stopping and turning. When you're skiing, it's called Christie to the right, and you can skid up, or you can Christie to the left and skid up and stop. For some reason, I couldn't go to the left. I could only go to the right. So we'd go up and down the mountain about 25 times a day, just as fast as we could go. And I would practice my Christian, but just as I would almost make it successful, then I'd fall over backwards. And it took me quite a while to learn how to Christie and not fall over. On one occasion, I was getting a little cocky, I suppose. And when I went down the mountain, I slowed down enough. I could Christian snowplow enough to slow down. My idea was when I got down to the bottom to the ski lift, there was a ramp you could ski up. And then you'd land on a flat top and jump right on the ski lift. And the ramp went up maybe 30 or 40 feet. So I was going fast enough I could go up the ramp, which I had done before. However, some lady got in my way and I couldn't turn to the left to get out of her way. So I hurried and did the best I could to turn right. There was a building right there. I bashed straight into the building, caught myself with my hands when I hit the building, but my skis hit the building, and wouldn't you know it, the tips of my skis, both of them, broke. And so there I was, getting ready to have a happy, fun day, and the fun day was over with. My skis were broken. I was really set to have a great time, and that silly woman got in my way. The building got in my way. And that was the end of the fun for me that day.
What event from church history would you like to witness and why?
Well, there's a lot of things in church history that are fun, and you could just talk on different things. But for me, I think the first vision would be fascinating, to be just a little squirrel on a tree next to it. Since I've been there and I've walked the Grove and I've worked in the Grove for 2 weeks at the Hill Cumorah pageant, I have a vision that he went out maybe 200 or 300 yards behind his father's farm, and then he came across a little creek called Crooked Creek. It's only about 3 inches deep and maybe 3 feet wide, maybe 4 feet wide at the most. So I can see him going out there, maybe getting a little running start to jump across the creek, go another 200 yards to 200 feet or so, find a place to kneel down. And my understanding is, at least the historians have figured, that this took place on a Sunday, on the Sabbath day, the last Sunday in March of 1820. He described it as a beautiful day, so it might have been a beautiful sunny day of the blue sky, but I would imagine it might even be a little bit nippy. But anyway, I think it would be pretty fun to sit there and watch the first vision. And since I have been there and worked there and walked that sacred grove for 2 weeks every day, I'm fascinated with it. The first vision would be pretty special. When we were teenagers, before the snow would really, well, I guess the skiing was okay, but we'd go up to Little Mountain, which is up Immigration Canyon, up past Hogle Zoo, go up to the top there, maybe 4 or 5 miles. Some kids would go up there, and little kids would do some sleigh riding. I don't remember it being more than 100 yards or maybe 200 yards long is all. But there was also a rope tow. And so we'd go up there take a couple of girls up there and a couple of us guys and just ski. And you could ski up and down real quickly and jump on the rope tow. So this one day we were up there and we were showing off for these girls, and we decided we were going to make a ski jump. So we roll up some snow balls and make us a jump. And then we got it where it was a little bigger, and pretty quick we were catching some air. So I was this one time going to really show off and show these girls just what a great athlete I was. I come burning down the hill. Instead of skiing like this, going off the jump and landing nicely, I got too much air, went up like this, came down like this. And when I hit, I just went forward. It jammed my chin right into my chest. I heard something pop and hurt like crazy. I thought for sure I'd broken my neck. These girls come running over and my buddies come running over and said, "You okay, you okay, you okay?" I said, "Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me." And I just laid there in the snow for about 5 minutes, and finally I was able to, catch my breath, and they helped me to my feet. I staggered off the hill. And again, that was the end of another fun day of skiing for me.
You've lived in a number of wards over the course of your life, but out of those, which was your favorite and why?
Well, I've lived in St. George and Cedar City and Salt Lake City, Kalispell, Montana, Fort Collins, Colorado, Tacoma, Washington, back in American Fork. I don't have any complaints with any of the wards, but I think two of the most enjoyable wards that I've been in, Kalispell, Montana, and Tacoma, Washington. In Kalispell, we moved there. It had been a district and then became a state, and then we were transferred there. So everybody was new. There wasn't a lot of experienced leadership, but what we had, they were good. Our bishop had to serve for 9 years because there wasn't a whole lot of pickings, and his brother-in-law was the bishop in the next ward in the same building, and he served for 9 years. But these people were fun, and they were excited about the gospel. And to have us move there, they treated us like $1 million, They had a lot of activities to go to and participate in. And everybody was pretty young. Like I was 30 years old. And most of our ward was 30 to maybe 50 years old, with a few older people sprinkled in. But they were just a good, loving people. And we still keep in touch with several of them. In Tacoma, a few more seasoned veterans over there. The church was a little bit stronger. But it, again, was a young ward. Did a lot of good fellowshipping. We had a good basketball and softball program. Had a lot of firesides. Had a lot of socials for the saints to meet in. It was just a real good two wards that I think I grew in the gospel as much in those wards as I've ever grown in.